What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reacting to the 7th episode of One Direct Priority. This one's titled After School at 14. They're all 14. It's going to be after school because we're actually going back to school now. I has plucked up the courage to at least say that to Sawaki. Was that his name? Right? Yeah, Sawaki. So yeah, Sawaki is so suspicious and just untrustworthy. But then again, everyone that isn't one of our main four girls is kind of untrustworthy to an extent, except maybe the mother. The mother's fine. But there's so much uncertainty in all of it. Now, part of that comes from just how well this show is building it up, right? It's kind of hard to tell whether we're being given all these context clues and stuff about Sawaki. Like, even this last episode, I want to bring up one point that IQ made last time. The Pokemon, essentially, that we got at the end there. A turtle, a snake, a crocodile, and a chameleon. All of them are reptiles. And the teacher wears a pendant that has an eagle on it. Are they just trying to add even more subtle clues as to how badly this could go? Or are they really, really, really trying to mess with us as an audience that looks into all these context clues like this? Like, is this the whole unreliable narrator situation with Ai? In that she perceives Sawaki as the bad guy, so we, the audience, see him as the bad guy, when in reality he's not. I guess that's part of the reason why she's kind of wanting to go to school, to see a bit more of him, and figure out what's actually going on, maybe... Because she kind of blocks herself away in a bubble, right? And disconnected from everything. So now that she's actually more interested in Koito's circumstances and what actually happened to her, maybe Ai's thinking, you know what, I'm not going to find anything just here. If I want to start learning more, I've got to go to the school where everything went down. Like, everything that could have possibly happened that would have even led to the suicide probably happened in the school as well. And if you're going to think it's the teacher, well, he was painting her and then painted Ai afterwards. Surely you need to be in that situation as well. You need to be back at the school to really see it. Maybe they're doing a whole thing of, like, she wants to see, after just dealing with one of the eggs that had the girl that could see things that everyone else couldn't. Maybe Ai's also thinking that way with it. I'm not quite sure. But, yeah. This show is really, really trying to... I mean, let's be honest. We're all expecting something bad to happen, right? Like... We're all expecting something bad. Surely. Like, there's no way this has a happy... Well, it might have a happy ending. But we don't get a happy route to that ending, for sure. Something's got to happen. Like, we all just feel it. Like, I still don't trust Ako and Uraka, because I don't know what they get out of this. Like, why would they help us like this? They're obviously after something else. Do they necessarily care about what happens to us for? Is this all a ruse with the bodies that we, in theory, could bring back? I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see where that goes. Sawaki is so untrustworthy, but is that, again, a misdirection to what's actually happening? I don't know, because a lot of the attention is on him right now, right? So, is there something else we're meant to be paying attention to that they don't want us to pay attention to? I don't know. God, this show's so fucking good. Also, Sawaki and the mother saying that they're thinking of getting in a relationship. That's complex. That's very complex. Like, even if that happened to me in real life, in that situation, especially at the age of 14, like, how are you meant to process something like that? How do you process something like that at 14? Like, I would struggle with that, and I'm 24. At 14, I wouldn't have a clue how to react. Oh, this show really, really enjoys playing with themes that normally would be glossed over, but are genuine concerns and worries that happen to people every single day, and just don't get mentioned or talked about, and I love that. This show is so good. It's beautiful. It's bringing up topics that are just so different. We also got introduced to haters this time, which is why we got our Pokemon, essentially. So I'm kind of curious to see what ends up happening with that. Are we going to continue on with eggs now? Are we going to spend a bit more time in the real world now that we're going back to school? I assume we're going to be spending a bit more time in the real world. What we're actually going to learn from that, I don't know. What we're doing after school, I don't know. Maybe we're going to have a go around someone else's house, because we've always been around I's house. We haven't been to any of the other people's houses yet, have we? No, we haven't, I don't think. So maybe we'll do something like that. I don't know, but we'll find something to do. But I think we're going to spend more time in just the normal world than any of the eggs for now, probably. That's my guess anyway. So, as per usual, these are time-based form reactions here on YouTube. If you want to see full picture-in-picture, you can go to my Patreon down in the description below. £4 a month gets you access to all picture-in-picture reactions I do, which is everything from this and future seasons. Some backdated shows like Mario to the Patriot, which has got part 2 coming up next season. I'll be adding to that list in between seasons. I want to get ReZero caught up, because the first half of ReZero is not picture-in-picture. I also want to bring back shows like Bofuri and Madoka Magica Side Story, since they've got sequels coming up soon. Relatively soon. Bofuri is not till next year, I don't think, but, you know, you get what I mean. I want to bring them back where possible. I want to bring back a show like It Invaded, because that was just one of my favourite shows I've watched since I've done this channel. Also got Patreon request shows, got movies coming up. In fact, tomorrow, I think, we'll see, but I should be able to get Your Name, the movie, up tomorrow, and that will be quite the experience. But yeah, here on YouTube, we do time-based. So bottom left of the screen, you'll see the time of the episode. I count down 3, 2, 1, play. So on play, you start the episode, I start the episode, and we'll be in sync. Watch this one on Funimation, since that's what we like to this season. We have Aniplex and then the Funimation logo to start, so about 12 seconds logos, give or take. You can use screen flash on my face or the mic to tell when this is transitioning as well. That should help you sync up. And with all that said, let's get into this week's episode, shall we? In 3, 2, 1, play. Aniplex. Funimation. Cheers. Here we go. Where are we? Is that Rika? It's her birthday. Okay. Get ready to go to school. Does it? Is it? Is that Mum? Oh. Hmm. Ooh. Not the greatest home life. We've had many a clue as to that. Maybe we'll start digging into that a bit more. But Rika does want to know more about her dad. I mean, that's fair. Every time. Chills every time. Oh, excuse me. All right. Yep. Hmm. uh, don't make that distinction because might be serious about that at one point. Oh boy. That's a lot of guys. One of those five. It's also possible. This woman. But she went against it. Yeah, I just said, I don't know. Sure, but well, hmm, hmm, yeah, hmm. Does that say fit fat? God, it's so awkward. I love it. Hmm. Yeah. Possibly. Hmm. Hmm. I. Hmm. Hmm. Optimism. I mean, she's gonna say one thing and then just absolutely hit it. Hmm. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Can't worry about what you don't have. Okay. Mm. Is that really the type of father you want to meet, though? I don't know. Mm. Got the animation. Mm. Jesus. Jesus. You're not going to, are you? Don't do it. Oh, it's a cult leader. Jesus. Jesus. Uh-huh. Mm, Jesus. Ooh. Mm, Jesus. It's not. Oh, what? Who intervened? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Holy shit. Hmm. The music, though. What is this? Holy shit. It's so extra. I love it. Okay. hmm Hmm. Interesting episode. Very interesting episode. So Sawaki's on hold for now as we develop Rika. Okay. We had to get Rika's development in somewhere, right? So I assume Neru and Momo will get some as well. How do they pace that with Ai's story, though? I wonder. All right. The happy friendship plan. Sure. Okay. Okay. That was an interesting episode. Very interesting episode. Well, dealing with self harm is a rough topic. I have I have never self-harmed myself. I have been in a relationship with someone who did, and that was there is no easy way to talk about it. Yeah, it's interesting how, despite that, Rika has not on screen cut herself. We saw the struggle she had with it, and her struggle with wanting to, but also not wanting to at the same time. But it is very real how just because you've stopped doesn't mean you don't start up again out of just small little things like that. It's not even a small thing for her, really. Um, it is, yeah, it's very hard to talk about this. It's really hard to talk about this. Hmm. I'm glad we explored her character a bit more, because when you only, like, especially when we saw the first episode of her introduction, her character was a lot more abrasive compared to what I was. And learning more and more that is just a defense mechanism more than anything. And seeing this episode as well in relation to that, it really helps build up her character a lot. Like, a lot. I honestly feel like maybe her character is even a bit more built up than Ai's at this point. But I think Ai is the long game where she needs the entire season to really build up her character, whereas with our side characters or our supporting mains, I suppose, it's more important that we get a full dedicated episode to build them up with everything we can, so that they can then follow in Ai's journey, if you get what I mean. So, in that regard, we've got 5 more episodes, right? 5 more episodes. I imagine there'll be a Momoe episode, there'll be a Neru episode, and then that leaves 3 episodes for Ai's struggle for the truth with Koito. I just wonder what they're going to do next episode. Are we going to further the Ai Sawaki thing that we started? Are we going to do another character exploration? Because Moe has not been built up anywhere near as much as any of the other 3. Rika is now one of the most developed. Ai is obviously continuing development. Neru, we've learned a lot. Like, we even got little bits of information here with the fact that Neru just doesn't have her parents, which makes a bit of sense as to why the sister might have been under so much stress and resorted to yeah. This show is brilliant, and it's too in depth for me personally to give much. Like, I know, like, the thing with these, like, end bits is I want to discuss some of the things that happen in the episode, but I am not a serious reviewer in that instance. I cannot critically sit down for hours and review and pick out little dialogue bits, little shot choices that emphasize certain points. I'm not that detailed of a reviewer. I wish I was, but I don't have the time to dedicate to that. If I was only doing one show a week, or one show a day for the week, and I only had 7 shows on the go at any one time, maybe I could achieve that same level of detail. But I don't. This is the 4th video I've done today. And whilst I want to talk about this, I'm very limited in how much I can talk about. I do like that we've explored the self-harming aspect of her character, because that's not something that we normally would see. And it's interesting to see it in this context because mental health in general is something that is under-talked about and underrepresented just in general, in any serious discussion, in any media as well. And the problem with media is that you have to be very cautious about what type of message you're sending with it. You don't want to include a character with mental health issues just for the sake of saying, oh look, we've got a mental health character, look how well we can write this character. No, you don't want to glorify it in any way. You want to be respectful about it, be realistic with it, and make a concerted effort to be realistic and have meaning behind it. And that's what this show is doing. This show is putting a lot of meaning behind topics that typically you would not see. Like, not in just Japanese anime, but in, like, all media. Whether that be Japanese animation, like, any Western medias, like, these types of things don't typically get talked about. And it's very interesting to see how they approach it. Because remember, this is coming from a different society to what most of us would be relating to. Majority of my viewers are from the West, so we have different perspectives on mental health, on suicide, on self-harm, and though there are differences there, especially when it comes to suicide, I feel like. Like we mentioned beforehand, suicide by jumping in front of a train is something that is fairly frequent for Japan, and that often ends up with the family footing the cleaning bill. I don't know if that's necessarily the case here in the West, but yeah, there are social differences to the topic, and how open you can discuss them, and when it's acceptable to discuss them. So this show is very, very unique in that regard. I was expecting a little more when Ako and Uraraka were discussing if they're going to lose one. I kind of expected to maybe get a little bit extra out of that, like, are we going to lose another one, for example? Like, let me just go back to the actual dialogue that they said, just to make sure I'm not missing something. But I expected a little more there as well. Where is it? She gave up on fighting. Where is it? Where was it? There it is. Will we lose one? Looks like it. I was expecting them to say something like, will we lose another one? Or something like that. They seem somewhat indifferent to it. Like, I'm sure they have the power to potentially stop that. But they would not. I get the feeling that if it did come down to it, they wouldn't intervene in such an instance. Probably they can't intervene, or it would go against what they're trying to achieve. I feel like there's a little more there to unpack, but I was hoping a bit more in the dialogue would come through, but no, they were very simple with it, and that's both kind of eerie in its own sense, because, like, why are they being so simple about the fact that a kid's about to die? I mean, to them, this might be one of, like, hundreds that they've got going at any one point. Like, we know of our main four here, but who's to say that they're the only four that they're involved with? Probably not. But yeah, interesting discussions to be had on that one for sure. This show always promotes interesting discussions, and I always look forward to seeing other people's perspectives on how they interpret scenes and how they feel about certain things. So that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed that one. Leave a like if you did, as well as your comments what you thought of the episode. This show really does involve a lot of comments and discussions. That's what this show does the best, I think, and provokes a lot of conversation. So I'm always eager to see more conversation about it. Don't forget to subscribe as well to see next week's episode, as well as the rest of the Winter 2021 lineup you can find on the channel. Thank you for watching. Until next time, see you guys later.